back again. Just after I finished uploading this video, there was a knock on the door and my stepper motors were delivered. So I've got them out. I printed off a tech sheet. It's mainly in Chinese, I think, but I mean it's got the basic ideas of what we need for the settings for later on. I also got together some tools. I got together a 2.5 millimeter hex key, 4mm, and I've got a 8mm nut driver, a couple other things for doing the nuts. Okay, now I've got the parts together. It was a bit confusing because, like, to look at the parts that you need for each individual one, if you go to the NEMA 23 X and Y motors, which is what we're doing now, the pack actually doesn't contain everything we need. It's a bit strange. It can like the instructions say that you need 14 washers for each motor assembly, and in this pack there's only 24 washers, so that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And I'm doing the default default is number D for the NEMA 23s. So I'm hoping, because the X and Y carriage packs, which are packs 4 and 5, seem to have a lot more screws than they need, or a lot more screws and bolts and nuts than they need. So I'm assuming, I'm hoping that because the carriage is part of the motor bit, that the parts that I need will be in these packs. I don't. It's the instructions on the wiki actually don't say which pack the nuts and bolts to take for which each thing is in. I'm assuming that that there is, like, I'm doing a lot of assumptions. It makes you would assume it makes an ass of you and me. I'm assuming that everything is here, but I'll just go through what you need to do the preferred option, which is the belt on the back. It's not actually rolling on the top of the maker slide. It's actually in the back, which it says is the preferred option. So I'm doing the preferred option. I mean, I might change it later on. I mean, the first thing, so what you need is 2 of the idler wheels. You need 4 of the long nylon spacers, 14 washers, 2 grub screws, 6 hex nuts. These are the 40s or the 50s. What are these? These are 1, 2. These are the 40s bolts, and 2 of the 30 bolts. So we'll start with the idler wheels. So they go in. They go in these 2 holes down here. So what you've got is you've got to make up 2 this way, with them this way, and 1 the other way, which is your other y-axis. So we'll start with that. So we need to take a M30 bolt, a washer, and then they go through the back. I'm doing it. I'm actually following I've got the wiki open on my laptop in front of me here, so I'm following what it's doing there. So then you take another washer on this side, and then it's the idler wheel with the bearings in. So the little lip. I don't know if you can see. There's a lip. There you can see the whole bearings there, and then there's a lip on that side. So it's the side that you can see the whole bearing that goes into the machine like that. And then you've got another washer and a nut, and that goes together like that. So let's put that on, tighten that up. And it spins, which is a good sign. That's one. Do the same again. Okay. And then washer on top, and the idler pulley, and then I did put a washer in there, didn't I? Yeah. And then a washer on top, and bolt. Seem to cinch up without me putting it on the back there. Yeah, and they're rolling. They're not going to freewheel or anything, but they are rolling. They're not binding or anything like that. So that's that bit. I'm going to put the grub screws into the pulley head. The pack comes on the wiki. It's got an 18 tooth or a 20 tooth. With the NEMA 23s, these are the 20 tooth G2 pulley that comes with the standard pack. And I forgot that you do need another hex driver. It's a 1.5 millimeter for the grub screws. So we'll put the grub screws in now. Just don't drop them first. My wife was watching the video last night. She said I might, because I'm quite ham-fisted. I said, well, maybe what I'll do is next time is I'll build a CNC machine wearing boxing gloves and see if I'm a bit more delicate than I am now. So I'm just putting those on there, and I'm just grabbing the first motor. Funny enough, it doesn't actually show you which way the wires should go on the motor. I'm guessing on one side, because you can have all the wiring going over to one side, so you want one of the y-axis is going to be upwards, and so the wires can go across the x-axis and down to the other side, and then on the other side you probably have more like that. So I'm going to put this one upwards. Let's put the pulley on first. I'm sure these have to be adjusted, but I'm just putting it so it's just flush with the top at the moment, and then just there's a flat channel on the side of the. I think I found flat channel. Yeah, I did. There's a flat channel on one side of the stepper motor, so you get one grub screw in there. I'm not super tightening them. I'm just basically just putting the two grub screws in so they won't fall out. So now then what you have to do is you've got to take your four, these are the M50s, aren't they? No, M1, 2, 3, 4, M40s, they each get a washer. 3, 4, and they go through so now the idler wheels are on that side, so the motor's going to come through that side, so they go through this side. So they go through these two holes that are just above the idler wheels, and then they go through, well, just by looking you can see it's going to be those two there, so they go through those two, oops, like that and like that, and then you need a bit of, probably like it'd be ideal to have like a block, set it on a block of some kind, so that the nuts are all sitting on the block and the idler wheels aren't on the block, so then they're all the way through, you see. This is my idea. I mean, it may not work, but it may. And then aren't I a clever boy? So get those on, and we'll drop the motor through. And I said I was going to do this one upwards, wasn't I? I'm going to do two up. No, yeah, no, one upward, and then because the one on the x-axis because I'm going to have it go over. It's going to go one way. I'm going to probably have to change it anyway, so I'm mounting this one upward. And then we'll go from there. And then they get a washer each. Hey, get on there, you bugger. Washer each. Washers are a bit fat for these debris. There. And then get a nut on them. won't be able to tighten them up, but if you at least get the nut on, which I probably can't do. Okay, maybe not like my cunning plan. Just get the nuts on, so that they're on, and then you can turn it over and start. You just don't want them to fall out, basically. Like I said, the washers seem to be a bit fat for the channel on these. Come on, get in there. Here we are again, ham-fisted, as she said. Oh, that's just not gonna go. I'm gonna do these two with my fingers up like underneath it, so I can get it on. They don't want to go on. So we push those washers down a little bit. That's better. That goes on like that. And that one goes on there. Not. Maybe. There it goes. Okay, so we got them started. So hopefully we can get them on now and tighten them up. I don't trust myself. I'm going to get 4 fingers on one on each of the nuts. I can. There we go. Okay. Yeah, they're in. And then we'll just snug those up. There you go. So those are all I'll just snug those up a little bit more. Oh, something doesn't look right here. Oh no, it does. Sorry. No, I did it wrong, didn't I? Okay, so that actually has to be the other way around. So I screwed that one up. So don't do it like this, okay? How embarrassing. Okay, I'm gonna pause it now, and basically I'm gonna swap that over so that the motor, because the pulley should be on the same side as the idler wheels, which that definitely isn't. So I have made a mistake there. So I need to take the motor and put the motor on this side. So I won't let you watch that, because that's kind of boring. I mean, this is the thing I keep on saying, is everything's boring. But I mean, you get the general idea of how to put it on, even though I've made a mistake. But we'll put it on the other way around, and then once I've done the two, these will probably be the lefts and one right, or 2 rights and 1 left, whatever it is. I'll do those all, and then I'll come back to you with the next step, or to show you what they look like when they're all finished. Okay, there's what it should have looked like. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, there we go. That's what it should have looked like once you put it on correctly. So, you know, if you can, it still makes it easier if you put it on something like that, and then you try to get the washers and the bolts on. I'll come back to you when I finish the other 3. I forgot to tell you, I'm just doing the last one now, tightening them up. What you have to do is, when you tighten them, you have to do you snug them all up. You know, you can get them so they're touching the ends basically, and you know the bolts are in. Once you've done that, then you do it like you would if like a car tire. I can't show you really. You do sort of the star pattern, don't you? You do that one, and then you do this one next, just to snug them up. And try to keep everything in the flattened, what do you want to call it? I don't know what you call it. It's so they all seat evenly, I guess, and square to the faceplate. Well, there, that's the 3 of them done. I've got two with the notch facing this way, and one. Oh no, I didn't. Okay, I did that one wrong. I've got to swap one over. I thought I did. I don't know how I managed to do that. Oh no, wait a minute. I did. Sorry, it was that way, isn't it? So that and one facing the other direction. So you've got your two y-axis like so, and your x-axis goes that way, I guess. And it doesn't make any difference. When you finish that, it's time to move. It'll be time to move on to the next page in the wiki. The next install will be the Y carriages. So we're going to do those, but first, if like me, you feel like you've accomplished something, which I feel I have, I'm going to pop out to the pub for a quick pint, and then I'll be back shortly. Okay, it's time to do the what are they called? The Y carriages. I went through and I counted all my nuts and bolts and got everything prepared for the left and the right. And it turns out I was taking nuts and bolts from that package in order to make up the motor assemblies, and I turned out I was short 2 bolts and two nuts after all that. So what I've done is I've taken some of the in the pack for the motor assemblies. There was a couple of spare bolts that were of a different size, and I've taken them, and I couldn't be bothered to. Well, I didn't want to take some nuts from another pack again now. So I had some nuts. I mean, I've been to Poundland and bought one of their mixed assortment of nuts and bolts. So I mean, I've got nuts and bolts and washers, spares that I can use for something like this. So I mean, if you don't have spare nuts and washers at home, it would be an idea to get one of the cheapo sets, just so you got something to spare. I mean, they are a fair bit shorter, but I mean they should be all right. I mean, maybe in the future I will put some longer bolts through it. But I mean, at the moment, they seem like they'll do the trick. But so there again, there was it looks like there was a few. I mean, although on my list it doesn't say. I mean, what was on the list and what's in the packs is what's there, but it doesn't seem like there's enough nuts and bolts for the actual makeup. I'm going to send the supplier an email and just ask them that question. Maybe there are some here in one of these other bags, but I mean there is like thousands and thousands of screws here. But the pack 3, it just didn't have what I needed, to be honest. So we'll go from there. But anyways, we're doing the left and right carriages now. So what we're doing is we're putting the V wheels on. So we'll start with this one, and I'll show you how to do that one first. So what we've got is on the top. There's a couple of funny holes here. There's sort of like double punch holes. We're using the tops of the double punch holes. So we're using a screw, a bolt, a washer, a washer, and then that goes through the top screw. And then we got another washer. Which way did I take it off? This one, didn't I? Then another washer. Then we got a V wheel. And then another washer. And a nut. Okay, so that's the top. And then same again on the other side. Nut washer through the top of the double struck hole. Another washer, V-wheel, another washer, and a nut. Okay. Get in there. Get on there. Oh, what's wrong with you? My fingers aren't working today. Okay. Nope. What's going on here? I got a dodgy nut? Dodgy bolt? That's weird. It just won't go on there. Trying to. It's not the nut, it's the bolt. Okay. We'll muck about with that one later. I'll do that one off camera. Can't be bothered pissing about with that one while you're watching. Put that one back on that one then. Just do that one there. That one in there. That one in there. Another washer. And the nuts. I mean, it was a good thing I was counting the washers. You know, I basically I count everything and lay it out before I start the assembling each part. When I was doing the idlers, I was putting them on, and I'm tightening it up, and I looked and I had two extra washers, so that meant I'd missed something basically. So I went back and tried to figure out what I'd actually missed. Okay, now the bottom is a nut, a washer, an eccentric. The eccentrics have a lip on them. I don't know if you can you see that? Whoop, there we go. There's a focus. That's it. They've got sort of a ridge, so that goes away into the hole on the bottom there. So that goes in, and then the same again. You've got a washer, a wheel, a washer, and a nut. I put these on the right side, aren't I? Yeah. Okay. And that goes on. Okay. Oops. So that goes on. And then we do the same again. Bolt, eccentric, bolt, washer, eccentric, through the hole, washer, wheel, washer, and nut. Okay. And I picked up that dodgy one again, did I? I did. Okay, let's do that again. So take all that off. So again. Washer, wheel, washer, nut. That's better. Okay. Now it says you tighten up the top ones so they're ready to go. Them up. It says that now you can actually snug them onto the rail. The rail, the slot goes to the bottom, because on the side that the V wheels run on, it's only got one slot. It doesn't have the two slots. So this excuse me, the side that the wheels sit on, it's got the slot, and it says that the slot should go to the bottom. So you can stick that on now, and maybe we can, maybe we can't. That's the bottom. So you stick it on. Oops. All out of the way. And then you can tighten it. And it should be that it should run freely, but you shouldn't be able to spin the V wheel. So let's tighten that up first. Let's tighten that. Oops, missed. So tighten that up. And I'm just gonna make it snug, just so it doesn't come loose on me as well. Tighten it up. And then, so that one, it runs, but it's binding a bit, really. So we can take it off a bit. Not that way, it's that way. Just keep on just turning it until it just snugs right up there. Okay. Now this one, that's going loose. That's too tight, so you just keep on wiggling it and adjust it until you just can't turn it. Then it's running on it, but there's no slop in it at all. And then you can tighten these back up now to the full. So they're tight. So that should. Is that too tight? I mean, how snug? It's still just about move it. That one I can move. This one I can't move. So I'm going to just back it off a little bit. Right there. The wrong way. Oh, no, that's way too tight. I can just with a bit of force spin them on the rail. So that's, let's put it that way. So that's, I mean, yeah, that seems good to me. Okay, I'm going to do the same to the other side. It says that you can actually leave the rail in. You don't need to take the rail out again now. So you may as well just leave it in for later. So I'm going to do the other side, and then I'll come back to you with the next step. Okay, the next step is the X rail. One that we drilled the 3 holes in each one. So what we've got to do now is we're going to join them together. So basically you're going to have one with the slot on the top and one with the slot on the bottom. We're making a square rail like that. Like I said, you need the one slot there and the one slot there. And then, so then you end up with the profile with, so that the V wheels will run along these outside 2 ledges. So we'll stick those together. So this you have to do them both together. You add the washer to that. Stick it through. Interesting. It will go through. I want it. You gotta fiddle with it a little to get the washer through. It won't go in dead straight. And then you put one of the what are these called? T-slot insertion nuts on the back of it. I think it's just a matter of getting them on and not tight at the moment. So you do that 6 times. Washers are tiny. That when I was doing the Ys, that one screw, that one bolt that I was having problems with, it turns out it wasn't a finished bolt. I had to use my my die on it and actually redo the thread on it. But yeah, that happens. That happens to the best of us, doesn't it? You get things that are mass produced and millions of them. You get the odd one or two that miss quality control. So that's life. These screws were in bags, or sorry, pack 7. But mine's the 500 mil, so mine's pack 7 3B. Just for if you're building the exact same one as me, the 500 mil slides. If not, then you might have a different number. That's simple, really, isn't it? It'll still be pack 7 though. Last one. Okay. So then you have to tease them together. I don't know the best way to do this, so as I said, learn from my fail. So, in. How do you get that in there? Just on the edge of it. I can get that one on the edge of it. This is interesting. So, pretty much have to have them lined up and stuck out. Oh, I got it. Now there's a surprise. So, sort of lined up first. So because if you drill the holes so they're identical, then it's going to do that. So if they were, I guess if they were slightly offset, then you do one then the other. But if they're identical, like what I did, then the T-nuts, they touch both ends at the exact same time. So it says that you then take it and make sure that you get it square. It says take a little time doing this because this is quite important that they remain square when you bolt them together. Let's see if I got a 3 that's strong enough for that. Probably this one. Should be flat and flush. So now we got perfectly flat, perfectly flush. So we'll tighten them up now. Quick little pit stop there. Sorry about that. And we'll carry on. I'll just tighten those up. It's not easy getting old. I should be wearing... I can't see through my glasses for these things close up. So I'm sort of looking underneath my glasses. I refuse to wear bifocals. There you go. That's just me being vain, I guess. But when you get to my age, you'll understand these things. There we go. So now we've got it's square, it's flat, it's straight, and they're aligned accurately. Next we've got to do the X carriage. I'll come back to you as soon as I've got all the parts counted out for that.